Court Justice Clarence Thomas is addressing questions around his finances.
Thomas says he plans to amend financial disclosure forms for a 2014 real estate deal in Georgia. Thomas did not disclose purchasing 3 properties in what a source called an oversight. Thomas is also facing questions after a Washington Post article said he failed to report his Nebraska real estate firm shut down in 2006 and replaced by a new firm, Ginger Holdings LLC. In the last few years, Thomas has continued to report income under the name of the old firm. In 2017, Thomas was also called out for leaving out funds related to his time teaching at Creighton. Thomas's wife, Virginia, is an Omaha native.
First Alert